Glaciers provide nearly 70% of fresh water. That is why it is really important to protect it and must go for proper legislation. Year-wise report on legislation and results. 2005 to 2025, number of one legislation Kyoto Protocol to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC results. The protocol established legally binding emission reduction targets for developed countries, a foundational step in global climate legislation. However, its limited participation and modest targets meant global greenhouse gas emissions continued their upward trend, resulting in the continued acceleration of glacier and ice sheet melt worldwide. The primary climate driver of melt remained unchecked. Number 2 is 2010 Cancun Agreements legislation. Cancun Agreements under the UNFCCC results. These agreements were significant for formally recognizing the goal of limiting global warming to 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. This established a temperature target crucial for the cryosphere's survival. The establishment of the Green Climate Fund was a pledge to support adaptation and mitigation in developing countries. Nevertheless, observed ice melt rates did not slow as a direct result, as global emissions had not yet peaked. Number 3 is 2014 Argentina Glacier. Protection law legislation. Argentina's Law 26,639 for the minimum budgets for the preservation of glaciers and the periglacial environment results. This is a globally unique example of comprehensive national legislation. It banned high-impact activities such as mining and hydrocarbon exploration on glaciers and in surrounding periglacial zones, and mandated a national glacier inventory. Its result is localized protection of ice from immediate human disruption, but it has no impact on the primary driver of melt, which is global climate change. Number 4 is 2015 Paris Agreement adoption legislation. Paris Agreement under the UNFCCC results. The most critical piece of global climate law, the Paris Agreement, introduced the central aim to pursue efforts to limit temperature rise to 15 degrees Celsius. This goal is scientifically vital for preventing the irreversible, catastrophic loss of the majority of the world's mountain glaciers. As the agreement relies on voluntary, nationally determined contributions, NDCs, the collective ambition is still insufficient to meet the 15 degrees Celsius limit, leading to the continued alarming rate of global ice loss. Number 5 is 2019 IPCC, Special Report on the Ocean and Cryosphere in a Changing Climate Legislation. Scientific and Policy Document, IPCC Special Report on the Ocean and Cryosphere in a Changing Climate, SROCC results. Though not a law, this report was a political watershed. It provided the most comprehensive and urgent scientific assessment of the severe and irreversible impacts of cryosphere laws. This heightened global political awareness was instrumental in making ice melt a more visible priority in subsequent international climate negotiations. Another important pact is 2021 Glasgow Climate Pact after legislation. Glasgow Climate Pact. COP26 decision results. The pact reaffirmed the 15 degrees Celsius goal and importantly called on countries to revisit and strengthen their 2030 climate targets. For the first time in UNFCCC history, the pact explicitly mentioned the need to accelerate efforts toward the phase-down of unabated coal power and phase out inefficient fossil fuel subsidies, the root cause of ice melt. It also saw the formation of the Friends of the Cryosphere group of nations committed to high ambition on ice protection. Next step was taken in 2023, COP28, Global Stocktake, Legislation, COP28 UAE Consensus, Decision of the first Global Stocktake results. This landmark decision called for all nations to contribute to a global effort to transition away from fossil fuels in energy systems. While falling short of a phase out, this was the first time fossil fuels, the direct cause of glacier melt, were explicitly named in a final COP text. It serves as a critical policy signal that the world must move beyond the energy source that is destroying the cryosphere.